The curb stomp looks so deadly. Just, yeah, stomp your head right to the ground, you know what I mean? Good, Dark Knight gang. I'm Neptune. Hey, bro, today I'm about to do a video. Top 10 wrestling moves banned by WWE. When did Watch Mojo start making WWE lists? I gotta see if this is any good, you feel me? Anyway, this should be an interesting video. Top 10 moves banned by the WWE. You know, they might be too dangerous. People might continue to get injured by them. Is it the Powerbomb banned? I think the Powerbomb might be banned, bro. I forgot. Anyway, shout out to the gang. Everybody have a good day. Have a great day. Let's hop into this video. Let's watch it. Let's enjoy ourselves. Catch these vibes. Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's Ash here with Watch Mojo, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 wrestling moves that were banned by the WWE. For this list, we're going to be ranking the moves or holds that at one point or another were prohibited by the company for use in their squared circle. Wrestling rules can often be fluid, and these moves may have been phased in or out of favor, but they have to have been banned at least for a time from a WWE ring.
Okay.
Number 10, Vertebreaker. One thing you'll hear consistently throughout this list is the danger so many of these maneuvers pose to the head and neck. The Vertebreaker is absolutely one of those moves.
That sounds dangerous. The Vertebreaker. Yeah, it's gonna break your...
Conceived originally in Japan by Megumi Kudo before being popularized by Shane Helms in the United States. Truth be told, the Vertebreaker looks great, a reverse double underhook piledriver with a huge wow factor. However, it requires the user to possess immense strength and control, while at the same time leaving the opponent exposed to severe injury. Although Seth Rollins did bust out the Vertebreaker at a live WWE event in 2016, it was, at least for a time, forbidden from use out of an abundance of caution. Number 9.
That looked like it's gonna break somebody's neck. You see the way everybody's neck was just like, just imagine landing on it, bro.
Shooting Star Press. We mentioned at the jump about how moves that were formerly banned do occasionally make their way back into the squared circle. So why was the Shooting Star Press brought back? Well, it looks damn cool for one. A scintillating backflip that demands maximum air while delivering an equally massive level pop from the audience. It was briefly banned by the WWE after Brock Lesnar famously botched his attempt during his match against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19. Lesnar failed to get the proper elevation and fell right on his head and neck.
That's crazy.
It was a horrifying sight and offered proof how the Shooting Star Press should probably be best left to the lighter and more agile high-flying specialist.
He said, Brock Lesnar, you're not agile enough, bro. You too buff. You can't be doing that. That's facts, though. But I feel like his neck is so buff and so thick. That's why he didn't get, like, that badly injured.
Muscle Buster.
All right, let's see this next
back and forth regarding whether or not Samoa Joe's finisher, the Muscle Buster, was ever officially banned by the WWE. The move was modified by Samoa Joe, taking his opponent from the corner turnbuckle in a tucked-in position and dropping them backwards onto their shoulders. This change tragically didn't stop the damage to Tyson Kidd's neck during a match with Joe on June 1st, 2015. Kidd suffered massive injuries and was forced to retire, while wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer proclaimed on his Wrestling Observer newsletter that WWE had banned the move as a result of the incident. However, Joe would later be quoted in an interview saying that he was not quite ready to pull it out of his arsenal just yet. Number 7, Buckle Bomb. There's a small list of fantastic performers who have sadly been laid low by the dangerous maneuver known as the Buckle Bomb. The physics are relatively simple, a lift and toss into the corner turnbuckle. However, the impact is taken straight onto the neck and shoulders, and botched deliveries have resulted in major injuries to Finn Balor and Kairi Sane. Even the icon Sting was forced into a semi-retirement after taking the move during a match with Seth Rollins.
I didn't know
We'll get
that.
back on Seth later, but the WWE officially put the buckle bomb on ice after Nia Jax botched her attempt during a match with the aforementioned Kairi Sane.
Yeah, I remember
Number
that.
6, Poison
I remember that, how she botched it and tossed her, and Kairi Sane just blah.
Frankensteiner. We know what you might be thinking. Well, with a name like Poison Frankensteiner, it's no wonder this move is banned. But that's only
heard
half
of
the
it.
story. The original Frankensteiner was developed by Scott Steiner in the late 80s, a head scissor backflip that ends with the opponent flat on their back. The modified Poison version comes from inverting the move, grabbing the opponent while they're facing away from the ring. There's more left up to chance with this version, as it not only drops the opponent face first, but it also gives them less control during their descent. The move was banned by WWE as a result, though it was busted out by Bayley during her match with Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn in 2015. Number 5, Curb Stomp. We bring
I
it
thought
back
they brought
to
that
Seth
back.
Rollins
I thought this is back though. I've been seeing Seth Rollins do the curb
again.
stomp.
It's time with a finisher that seems
This
to
finisher is
vacillate
fire,
between
too.
being banned and allowed, depending on the circumstances. It's called the Curb Stomp, and it's exactly what you think it is, a running stomp to the opponent's head that drives it into the mat.
That shit
It's
look
one of those
deadly.
finishes that looks great, looks
Yeah.
painful, and can be hit out of nowhere at pretty much any time. The problem is right there on the tin, however. It directly affects the head and can spell disaster if performed improperly. Rollins replaced the curb stomp for a time with the ripcord knee strike and even the pedigree, before eventually returning the stomp to his arsenal on a selective basis. Number 4,
Curb stomp
Brainbuster.
is so fire.
Our next
The curb stomp looks so deadly. Just stomp your head right to the ground. You know what I mean?
entry is a bit strange.
Kill somebody with that
because
bit.
the Brainbuster was commonplace throughout much of the pro wrestling landscape, dating all the way back to the 1950s. Killer Carl Cox invented the move during this era, and it wasn't long before the other wrestlers would bring the Brainbuster into their arsenal. A vertical suplex that ends with the opponent's head and shoulders being driven into the mat. The problem is, you guessed it, the lack of protection offered to these very sensitive areas.
Yeah.
The E banned the move for a time as a result of this, despite the relatively safe track record of wrestlers taking the Brainbuster. One notable exception to this, however, was the nasty botch by Goldberg against The Undertaker at Super Showdown 2019.
Oh my
Though That
God.
wasn't really meant to be a Brainbuster.
Yeah.
Number 3, diving
I remember that botch when Goldberg tried to lift up Undertaker. He tried to do his finisher. What's that? The jackknife? No, jackhammer. I forgot what it's called. He tried to lift up the Undertaker. It was a horrible botch, bro.
headbutts. Sometimes the simplest moves can be the most dangerous. Case in point,
This is so
the
stupid
diving
to me.
headbutts,
This
a
is
move
so dumb.
popularized by Harley Race before being adopted by everyone from Chris Benoit and the Dynamite Kid to Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan. The problem stems from the consistent damage sustained by the user during
man.
delivery. After all, it requires the wrestler to basically throw caution to the wind and dive headfirst into their opponent
Yeah, it's crazy.
without any protection. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy is a real thing and resulted in the E nixing the move thanks to its nasty reputation. The company has occasionally allowed wrestlers like Lars Sullivan and Bryan to bust out the diving headbutts, but you don't really see it very often.
You don't see that move that often because A, it's not fire at all, and B, you can get hurt.
Unprotected chair shots.
Now it is.
Speaking
To the
of
head.
CTE, our next
Man.
entry isn't necessarily a move
Man.
per se, but it was an intrinsic aspect of the wrestling injury as closely associated to the art form as a side headlock. And chair shots do still occur, all the time in fact. The main difference is we don't see unprotected chair shots
And you
anymore.
only see 'em at the
Instead,
back.
these blows with steel chairs usually either target the back
Yeah.
or some other part of the body.
Yeah.
One need only look into the I Quit match between The Rock and Mankind from the 1999 Royal Rumble to see evidence of how fast and loose the E used to play with unprotected chair shots.
The match that he's talking about, I saw highlights of that. The Rock is just beating Mankind on the head with the chair. Bah, bah. It's crazy, bro. It's
It's
crazy.
so traumatic.
I know Mankind got issues, cuz.
Footage of the affair
CTE
was
for
even
sure.
featured in the iconic pro wrestling documentary Beyond the Mat. Number 1, Pile Driver. It's a move so closely associated
man.
with pro wrestling that you may not even notice that you don't see it anymore in the WWE.
'Cause people
It's the
getting
basic
tore
but
up, man.
devastating Pile Driver.
Yeah,
a move
bruh.
that served as the finisher for everyone from Harley Race, again, to Jerry the King Lawler. The execution is simple, taking the opponent's head between one's legs before picking them up vertically and dropping them on their head. However, it's also as dangerous as it sounds, with Stone Cold Steve Austin even suffering a broken neck after taking a botched sit-out reverse piledriver from Owen Hart. Only Kane and The Undertaker seemed exempt from the piledriver ban, although CM Punk and John Cena famously called an audible during a match, busting out the move, reportedly without permission.
All right, bro, great video from Watch Mojo. Thank you guys so much for requesting it. Yeah, I mean, most of these moves, they should be banned because no matter how entertaining they are to watch, these wrestlers, bro, were getting injured. Necks being broken, CTE. I'm sure, bro, I bet you a lot of the old school wrestlers, just like a lot of the old school NFL players, I bet you they brains are tore up, bro. Just like a lot of the old school boxers, I bet you they brains are just like mush. Shut up. Look at me laughing. That's shady. I don't, look, no disrespect. They get all my respect. I'm just saying, back in those times, chair shots to the head. Back in the times, the football players used to lead in with their head, bro. To tackle, they run up. They hitting with their heads, bro. Crazy. Crazy. And you already know boxers, you taking all type of hits straight to the dome. Man, we need to study their brains more. I just want to see how their brains differ. Anyway, shout out to the gang. Everybody have a great day. See y'all next time. Yo. Peace.
She in the street.